Okay, so I have a younger mijo like you. He's 23 years old, and he lives at home. He lives with us, and he's saving up to like move out, possibly to like rent, and also just to kind of get his situation together. He graduated last year, so he's all done with college and stuff, and we asked him the other day, like, hey, what are your plans? And like, how much money do you have saved? So he told us, and we were like, wow, that's like a really good chunk of money that you could put on a down payment on a home. Not necessarily here in San Diego, but let's just say he wanted to live outside of San Diego, somewhere like in the IE or whatever, right? So I was like, dude, like that's a good chunk that he can put down on a like condo or even like a home somewhere like up north, like in Fresno or something. Yeah, Fresno, Rialto, San Bernardino area. But anyways, he can use that money and buy, kind of save a little bit more actually, and save enough so where he can have to put a down payment on his first home. And with that home, he can do is like, let's say he gets a 2-bedroom condo, he can rent out one room and then that kind of covers the mortgage. Or he can even buy a home, let's say that has 3 or 4 bedrooms and kind of redo the dorm life again, which is like, not the dorm life, but like the college life where you like rent a home with all your friends, but this time you're the homeowner. And he can generate some income through that and then, hang on to the home for a couple years. And then when he's ready, he can go ahead and, still have that home, pull some equity out on that home, and then put the equity from that home into his, his maybe settled down 30-year-old life home. Maybe he gets married or not, or he has some kids or just wants to settle down and like not live with everybody all day, every day. And I just think that that's a good way to teach this coming up generation how to bring in extra income, how to also using your money wisely and investing. And then also how to know how to use your equity in a home rather than going out and buying a car or things like that. You can save up their money for a down payment on a home, purchase the home. And because this is the other thing too, because your age is considered like low income brackets, there's a lot of support for like grants, and it could be government grants. Look at the city that you live in type of grants.
I didn't know that.
So definitely you can use that like income bracket to help get you some of those like first time home buyer program loans and grants and things like that. So you almost want to look at it, parents, as if you're teaching your kids about like the things that you would do for college, right? Like, you spend on a tutor for SAT and testing or whatever. And then you're like, okay, well, let's think about like how you're going to make your college payment and your financial aid, and you have to get scholarships, you have to apply for grants. That story doesn't end. It can still continue those types of philosophy and ideas just by changing that mind or bringing in that same mindset, but allowing that mindset to follow them in their 20s, late 20s, early 20s or whatever, once they finish college. Or maybe they don't even want to go to college. And they're like, look, mom and dad, I've been in college. I don't like this. I know you saved a chunk of money for me, but like, this isn't just my cup of tea. So then the parents are like, well, great. What are we going to do with all this? Well, you can invest it into having them buy their first home and then house hacking that home. And then later on that builds equity. By the time they're 30, they have out, a couple $100,000 maybe, hopefully. And they can buy their own house. And now they're actually like property owners.
They can buy a second house with the equity.
Yes, second house with the equity.
Do it all over again.
Yeah, they can even have enough to pay for their own wedding. So you don't have to pay for that.
Shoo.
The home equity loan or the home that you help support them in, whether you help fund it, by maybe, giving them some money to put on into the down payment or whatever. But the idea is not to get a 1-bedroom home.
Yes.
Although I did see today that in New York, somebody was renting out their balcony for $1,000. Like, that's crazy.
It was like the little mattress.
Yeah, with the little mirror on the side. The IKEA mirror. There's also that option. Hopefully San Diego, we don't have to get to that point where we're renting out balconies. Feels like that. But I just think that's just something to chew on, especially with your generation.
I wish I was taught that at a younger age, that you could house hack a home. I don't have to pay the full mortgage necessarily.
Right.
Or it could even pay off itself by renting, the second, third, or even just the whole house out.
Right.
A question for you, since he has enough saved already, are you open to him even purchasing out of state? Something super cheap. Like, I've heard of homes, this is a while ago, maybe 2-3 years ago,
Yeah.
7,000 down payment in like the Midwest,
like
though.
Idaho.
Obviously, yeah,
yeah, next to potato crop.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, now that he has a decent chunk, you know, I think like why not? Like I know too much about real estate to be like, you know, go spend all that money on, you know, putting your down payment on a freaking rental property or whatever.
yeah.
Where he's a renter, right? I mean, where he can go and put that money, and that's a good idea, out of state too. I thought about it, but not really, because I was just thinking about like San Diego, and I don't want my mijo to move out of San Diego.
Well, I don't think he'll live in it,
But yeah, like he can definitely do that, and like, I think that's also a great idea.
Tell him
Yeah.
I said that. No.
yeah. I'll let him know your advice on that. But I also know that a lot of people in military can do that are also your age, that get
Yes.
stationed all over the place. So do you want to like chime in on that?
Absolutely. So I can technically get the VA benefit because I'm married. My wife is in the Navy. And a lot of military people in general, whatever branch you're in, I was surprised at how little known fact this is that with your VA loan, it's already 0% down. And depending on the program you can get some of your closing costs paid for.
Right.
But one thing I'll preach to all my military out there is that house hacking is very, very realistic in your own community, because I hear from my own wife, hey, I have a friend that owns out of state, even out of country.
Yeah.
And it'll be like an apartment complex, but that's like, you know, bigger scale. They rent out all the units. But the cool thing too about VAs, you can use the loan multiple times. So for example, if you bought your first home and maybe you lived in it a couple of years and you get tired of it, you could rent it out. You can most likely go to, after the next home, you can now use that VA loan again to purchase your next home and rent that out. So I was surprised that a lot of them, they don't even know this. They don't even know in general, like widely known, the process of buying real estate. In general, real estate isn't widely known, but you would think, right, that our troops would, you know, be a little more educated, and it's
Right.
not on them. I'm not blaming them either, but especially VA, like, shoot, if I had that, I would have taken advantage real quick. So it's something to think about for later down the line. Any military is that whether you're in right now or when you get out, even if you only get 10% of your disability, you get 0 down for the VA loan, that benefit you get.
Even if you get your sign-on bonuses, you know, that you guys get, like chunks of money, you can, instead of buying a car or, you know, something all fancy or whatever that doesn't build value in your investment portfolio, you should take that money and throw it in either into some sort of like investment type of banking account or CD, or if it's a good enough chunk and you already have another chunk, like use that to buy your first home so that you can house hack it out. And another thing is aligning yourself with wonderful real estate agents. This is why it's also important to connect. And when you go out and you buy your homes and your house hacking home, right, connecting with a real estate agent who also can support you with subleasing it out or leasing it out. So like when you leave, like I used to work with a lot of military families when I lived in Temecula, and you know, usually they're gone like for like 3 years. You know, they're here for like 3 to 4 years, and then they have to get deployed somewhere else, right? But they've already bought this home in California.
Yes.
Which is amazing because California's real estate's amazing compared to the rest. I mean, we're expensive, but it gains a lot of equity faster than other states. So they would hang on to it, and I would rent it out for them, and I would just kind of do the property managing for them. And then eventually, when it was time for them to sell, maybe a couple years down the road, when they needed to pull that equity from that home or sell the home because they need to put the equity from that home into another home, maybe where they're out of the military and they want to stay, you know, be stable, then I would turn around and I would sell it. So it's a great supporting, like bouncing of the ball back and forth between your realtor and you, like your realtor, kind of like you leaning on your realtor, like Bubba and Forrest Gump, like I'm gonna lean on you while you handle all that for me, so I can go and, you know, be deployed and not have to worry about that rental property.
That's peace of mind.
And then yes, that peace of mind. And so always just even thinking like this isn't a one-time deal. You want to look for a partnership with your realtor, because that's the realtor that you can lean on when you're, you know, going through having to be deployed, or maybe even when you want to find different, you know, like leasing, subleasing, I don't know, what do they call that? Renters, I guess. So also think about that. That's another question that you can pose to your realtors. Like, hey, what is your background in rental properties and income generating rental properties and things like that. So.
And it's hard when you're military because, I mean, you're right. They move around all the time. Yeah. You're going to get deployed here. You're going to get stationed here. And, I mean, even San Diego's such a big military town, too, as well. We see it all the time. Some guys or girls, they'll purchase a home that's lived in maybe a year, 2 years. And the first thought, all right, I got to sell. Because, I mean, I get it. Like, depending on the situation, you got to do what you got to do financially. Mm-hmm. But it's also smart if I was someone in the military and I was going to get stationed wherever, Japan, and I have a house out here, like, right. I would at least try to find a different avenue than just sell especially because it's California, it's so valuable. Mm-hmm. And if it made sense, obviously.
That's why they call it California gold.
Right? To rent out the house while you're gone. Mm-hmm. So then when you come back, you're sitting on all that extra income that you just made passively while you're out working, or, wherever station, whatever you're doing, you come back to that when you come back home. And you don't even have to move back into that home as well. Like, you can even come back and use that money that's been built up for however long to purchase the next home and then on to the next. And it's almost like a flywheel. You do it over and over and over again. But I think it's very, very crucial for military to pay attention to that, because you guys get the best benefits compared to, Joe Schmo. We got to come down with 20% on the second house that we buy. Yeah. We got to have in general, everyone's credit has to be pretty good. Our credit has to be up there. And that's why, in general, civilians, we have to look for programs, closing costs, things that'll help us out. Mm-hmm. But with military, you guys get that already.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of agents who support military families too and can help support you with perks and things like that. So definitely anybody who's listening who is just signed up for the military and you're like, what is that? Depending on what branch you're in, you're like, I forgot, like 1 or 2 or 3. I think 3 is when you start to make some decent amount of money. What is that?
Around there.
The level, like, what do you guys call it?
E4, E5.
Yeah, E4, E5s. Yeah. So like E3, I felt like, that's like a decent, like you start to get a little, more like, okay, I have some little extra change.
I think when they get to 3 to 4 is when they really start seeing a difference.
Right. E1 and E2, I know, is like, ooh, because my ex-husband was in those and I remember being there and we were broke. But we were also pretty young. But usually most people join the military when they're young. They join at, 18 and just fresh out of high school or whatever. So just try to think like, okay, I'm in my, 23 years old and, I have this job I'm set in for the next 5 years or however long. Mm-hmm. And, how can I use this and use your housing? Like you get paid for your housing, right?
Yes.
So that kind of helps also cover your mortgage. So there's just so many ways you can literally like peel this apart. But I think the point is like being educated about it and mm-hmm. understanding it, and don't think that it's unattainable. Don't limit your beliefs. Like Absolutely. Literally you're getting support from the military, and that's just another way to be like, damn, I'm good. Like I deserve all this and more, but I need to have, sometimes you just need to have the expertise and the education.
Yes.
And the more you do it, then the more your peers or whatever, is that what it's called? Peers?
Yeah.
Is that people below you or under you? I forgot.
I call them their military buddies.
Yeah, your military buddies. But even going back to my scenario, like with my son, like this is something that he can be like, hey friend, like this is what I'm doing. You should do it too, or, whatever. Right. So the more you see people doing it at your age, the more likely that this can like be your generational way of owning a home, because I know that's also the biggest thing. Like my first home I owned at 29.
Nice.
Yeah, 29. But even I remember then thinking like, at 27 or 26, I was like, the market just crashed. And I was like, damn, like, how am I ever going to own a home? But I took that opportunity when it did crash. And that was my only way of ever owning a home. If that never happened, I don't know if I ever would have been able to own a home. So look for those opportunities. But I was educated enough to know, because I had already had my license, to know that what goes down must come up. Mm-hmm. And everything just worked out. Even like, when you own a home, you can get tax benefits for it, especially if you don't have kids. because the kids give you a
Yep.
nice tax benefit. Josiah will figure that out pretty
Yep.
soon. Next year, he'll have his tax benefit. But also owning a home, you get tax benefits. And if it's an income generating home, you also get tax benefits, and you also get to write off anything that you do to the home. So let's say you have a renter that thrashes it. You definitely keep their deposit.
Oh yeah.
But then you also can write off what you had to pay somebody to come in and fix whatever, repaint or whatever,
repairs.
right? So those tax write-offs help, especially if you're single and, you start seeing your money increase. Investing a home just gives you all these little extra loopholes, but definitely don't take my advice. Talk to your CPA.
Oh yeah. Anyways, real
Definitely
estate,
talk
we'll
to
handle the real estate.
Yeah, we do all that
All
stuff. But, everything else, I don't know. Google it.
Yeah, go.
Google it. Okay. Do you think that was good?
That was perfect.
Okay. Take 2. Which is that? Okay, so we're almost. Oh, we never started. Jeez, we're on a roll.
So if you basically you'll know when the screen either goes black or you stop seeing the red.
Oh,
the
okay.
red record on the top right.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's still going right now, but I would, yeah.
Okay, you want to talk about the train tracks? We already talked about the housing hack. And then there's the San Diego names.
They knew political.
Let's do political because it's relevant right now. This is something
That's
like
something we got to post quick.
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
Edit it, post.
We need this today. Okay. Next. Okay. So, all right. Have you been watching the news lately? Did you notice that? I was watching the soccer game yesterday.
I was on TikTok.
Why were you on TikTok?
I don't know. I do that on my free time.
Right, that's all you do on your free time. Well, I was trying to, get my Mexican
What game
stripes
were you
here.
watching?
I was watching the soccer game.
Which one?
The
What
Copa
teams?
America.
Who's
It's
playing?
Argentina and Colombia.
Dude.
So they basically delayed the game. It was supposed to start at 5. They delayed it, I think, an hour and a half because Biden came on and gave a speech about the Trump shooting at that rally or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that got cut off. Like the game had to be postponed. So did Shakira's little dance thing that I was really looking forward to. So yeah, there's a lot going on politically right now. And it's just, to me, I'm like, oh shit. The tea is stirring right now.
Hey, it's crazy.
The pot is hot and it's
popping right
whistling and it's popping. And I'm just like, all right, it's time to make some tea.
No, dude, I don't watch the news in general.
Right.
I'm gonna sound like a Gen Z. I don't watch the news. For me, I just noise I don't need. But I was on TikTok and it was funny. I saw the initial report that Trump was rushed off the stage, and I just breezed by it. I was like, okay, whatever. It was probably just something, whatever happened. And then maybe 10, maybe 20 minutes later, I see the video of it and how the bullet grazed his ear. I thought he died. I was like, oh, holy shit. Is it over?
Yeah.
Is he gone? Not in that way. I don't fucking hate the guy. I don't care about politics. But I saw the image of his right side or left side of his ear bleeding. Mm-hmm. So, and he was walking and then he put his fist up. I was like, holy shit. That's fucking crazy, dude.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, all the conspiracies are going crazy right now. The conspiracy theorists about how the kid even got up to the roof, how Secret Service didn't see.
Yeah.
People are claiming Secret Service, they manned down or they fell back. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I mean, there's multiple angles of it. I guess some people saw him on the roof and they were calling for the police to go get him, go neutralize him. But yeah, dude, that was crazy. I never seen anything like that. I don't think I would ever would have witnessed anything like that in my life. I
also don't watch the news, more so for my spiritual sanity.
Yes.
Because I feel like the news just it just has such a shadowy darkness to it sometimes. And I'm not to say that I'm oh, ignorance is bliss. I don't think it is. I just think that if I need to know about it, social media is going to tell me.
Oh, yeah.
And I only mostly stay on Instagram. So I feel like I like hear it through Instagram. And if it's on Instagram and I'm like finally hearing about it, then it's something that's like, ooh, you know, like what's going on out there.
Dude.
And I was just like, my first thought was like, dude, this guy's like the Terminator. He's just like undiable. Like Trump is like a 9 lives person. Like just nothing like can, you know, like only that would happen to Trump, to be honest. I'm just like, this guy has like some good luck. Like there's a lot of things that like, I don't want to say he got away with it at all, because that sounds horrible. It doesn't sound like I'm like you. Like doesn't mean like my political views, how can I say?
Are you leftist? No, I'm kidding.
I know, right?
Are you far right now?
Right. I mean, I'm pretty like set in my democratic ways, you know? Yeah. But I'm also very open-minded and flexible. Like I'm that type of person where I can have a conversation and we can talk about it. If it gets a little debatey, like I'm always okay with that, because I'm always wanting to learn like about what's the other side of my, like the way I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. And part of it was because of the way that I was raised. Like my aunt was, she's a politician and she's pretty up there in the political world. Yeah. So I grew up knowing about all that stuff and also being part of campaigns and blah, 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 and all this. So to me, it's just like in my blood type stuff, but I'm also like open, because it's just like, it's fucking like, that's how we learn, you know, like you got to always be open to the other side. So when I saw all that happening, I was like, wow, that guy really does have like, he has some good luck. I would just give him that. But there's also always things that like, how does all this happen? Like, when was it with the guy that ran into the White House and they were trying to say that like, the guy that went to the White House, I think it was when they were doing the transfer of the houses, and then like some guy went in and like started shooting around because he was for Trump. And then I don't remember. And they were saying that Trump knew about it and like what? I don't know, something like that. I forgot. Anyways,
see how I don't watch the news.
But I'm just like, it's like little things like that. Like they'll just like come up about this like acts of violence in a sense, and his name being attached to it. But yeah, it is unfortunate that happened. Like I think that doesn't make us look good when it comes to our secret services, because if that can get, you know, and this is like the second, or I mean, presidents have been shot at multiple times, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like with the advances that we have right now, like how's that still happening?
That's true.
And the kid was like 17, I think.
No, he was like 20, 21.
Oh, was he?
He was like just turned 21.
So yeah, like a youngster guy. And then there's a debate of like, was this a conspiracy? There was that too. Like,
what's like the craziest conspiracies you heard about it?
That what I heard was that that like Trump planted it. That,
oh yeah, that's what I heard.
And that it was like, oh, he made sure like to only get shot in the ear and I'll get shot in the face. And I'm just like, I don't know. I mean,
I don't think I'd plan.
I
don't know.
Unless the kid was like 45 and had like a Navy SEAL background with like, or like a rifle, you know, worked for the Marines as like some rifle person or whatever, then okay, maybe that would be a little more believable, but it doesn't make sense for it. And then I'm a little confused too, because the other part is about his, that he technically was for Democrats. Like
Republican.
Like he acted like he was Republican, but then he was like, if you dig deep, then really he was doing it for the Democratic Party.
Oh, so. Yeah. I think the craziest thing I heard was that it was planned. And that like this will not be the first time Trump is going to get an assassination attempt on him. Like this was bound to happen. And now that this failed attempt, there's going to be even more attempts, whether it's whatever. I mean, however people were attempted assassinated in the past, poisoning, right?
Yeah.
Like different ways. That and I don't know who was saying it, but like how it was planned, how the crowd wasn't reacting in a frenzy enough way, I guess. I'm like, no, there's no way that you planned getting shot at.
I think everybody was just probably shocked. Like, wait, what the fuck just happened? Like,
you get down. I mean,
like you're like, first you're worrying about you.
Fuck
You
yeah.
know, you're like, wait, am I okay?
Your ass is
What's
gonna
going
fucking
on?
get down in that situation.
I do want to bring in some astrology stuff because Trump's astrology chart is pretty interesting, especially for the times that are right now. So Trump's a Leo. So he's born in August. So his birthday's next month.
Leo, what?
Well, that makes
That's
so much sense. That's
crazy.
why he's all fiery looking. The orange hair. He naturally has like a fiery glow to himself.
Fire?
He's a very fire, like, and Leos are known to be about like, they need to be the center of attention. Not that they say they need to, but usually they don't mind being the center of attention. If you can give them a stage, they're like, here, it's my moment right now.
Really?
So he definitely has a lot of Leo qualities. The way he looks, his personality type is very, authoritative. So Leo, the animal that represents Leo is the lion.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And, hear me roar, right? So he has this very like lioness, even though he talks, is very like, look at me, I'm in charge, hear me roar, And so that's just me looking at it from like an astrologer sense, right? Just his personality and how it all lines up with his sun sign. There's more to his chart. The interesting thing about his chart, though, is that he was born during a eclipse. I don't know if it was a full moon eclipse or a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse. But usually when somebody's born on an eclipse, that means like there's some extra power to them because the sun eclipses the moon, and it covers it, right? Or the other way around. But anytime that's just like a sign of power, and usually when eclipse happens, when they used to happen in the past, that's why there's like omens about them, is because leaders would usually die or be born during eclipses.
Whoa.
So not to say that that's what's going to happen. Okay, I'm just putting that out there. But him being born within that like type of access, and we've been in pretty intense eclipses astrology wise this past year, and the next one that comes around is in October, and that'll be right around like the month before elections happen. So just think he carries this energy naturally of like a person, and then he got eclipsed in the ear. Let's just say that.
That's fucking crazy.
That's an eclipse, right? Like it just like cut him off. So so there's going to be more eclipse moments that is going to come to the table. And I'm interested, and I think we can dive more into this as we get closer, because I don't want to spill all the tea yet when it comes to astrology and the stars and the predictions. But I just want to claim it now because it's we're in July, that come to the October eclipses that are going to happen. I feel like it's going to hit him a lot more personal, and we're going to see it. It's going to be on stage because he's on stage. He's the lion.
Yes.
So I think
he's going to continue to do that. For me, if I were him,
yeah,
I'm fucking staying in a fucking bunker. I'm
Right.
never showing my face until election time. But knowingly, he probably will do the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Be front and center, which, I mean, cool. I mean that, I don't know. And again, not to be political or sound like I'm a far right, but at this point, he will probably win just off of that moment.
Yeah. And I think that's also kind of what his chart's kind of saying too. Like swimmer a little bit. But, and again, even if he does win, he wins. Like I wish any president the best because this is the country I live in and I want it to thrive and I want it to move forward. And I ain't trying to move to Mexico, So either way, may the best person win. But I think what my core belief is I really want peace to come to the table. And I would like whatever leader who does win to bring that peace, that American, like we all came to America to find peace and to prosperity and abundance. And let's get back to the 1950s era without the racism. Like, let's bring all those, like all that stuff doesn't need to come to the surface anymore. So I think for me, like, morally, what I would like to see is whoever wins, whether it be Biden or Trump. I feel like Trump, though, has the better chance right now. That it can lead us into a path of peace because, we are a big nation, we are a big country, and we've been fighting within ourselves since the last election. Okay, so I was working out today because I always do every day, and I was watching the news because I forgot my AirPods at home. Actually, they're lost. I don't know where they're at right now.
Oh.
I was like, damn. I think they're at the salon that I was at on Friday. So we'll see. But anyways, so I don't really watch the news, shared that before. But I was at the gym and I had nothing else to listen to except for the TV screen that was in front of me. So I see that the local news is talking about, San Diego local news is talking about the train tracks that run along Del Mar into like coming into San Diego. So those, was it Union Station, all the way from here to Union Station. Have you ever been on that train ride before?
Nope.
It's beautiful. You need to do it before they move those tracks.
Is that Amtrak?
Yeah, it's Amtrak. Yeah.
Okay. Every time, I'm about to talk shit. Every time I try to get on Amtrak,
yeah,
it's delayed, it's canceled, it's rescheduled. Do I just have bad luck?
I think so. I don't know.
Because that's coming from Union. What would you say?
Union Station,
Union
LA.
Station.
Yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful ride.
It goes there, right?
Yeah, well,
here to there.
It goes here to there, and then you can stop, and then you can take basically transfer, and then you can take another train to I guess
Every
to go
time.
up north, or to take the metro stations into downtown. Like that leads Union Station is what holds. It's like a hub, and it holds the Metro Link. And then the Amtrak station.
Every time I've had bad luck with Amtrak in San Diego. Nowhere else.
Yeah, that's interesting. Weird. That's very interesting.
But is that true? Are they really going to move the train tracks?
So they're going to move the train tracks. And so as I was watching, well, I think that's the idea right now. So so the thing that I was tripping out is I was like, okay, because they were saying that the news reporter was showing the tracks and there's an erosion a little bit. And so I guess right now they're testing it to see how much are the tracks moving, and how unstable is it going to get to a point where they already are starting to move it, but they don't know at what point, it needs to hurry up and happen. So they're kind of studying how much more erosion can it take before they're done relocating it or whatever. So as I was watching this on the news, I was like, okay, well, I think this is interesting because I was like, but why Del Mar area? That is such a beautiful ride along the coast. So I've taken it from LA County, basically Union Station all the way into San Diego. And once you get into Orange County, it's a really pretty ride because you're along the coast the whole time. And then it rides you into Little Italy, right, area in San Diego.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's a nice little cute ride, and I think that's part of what makes the ride in California, especially Southern California train ride, kind of nice. It's something that you look forward to. So now they're gonna move the tracks, but they're gonna move them in the back cities away from the beach cities.
What?
So my thought is, and you all can chime in and tell me what you think. Please be nice, okay? But tell me what you think. So, okay, one is where my mind was thinking, well, this is also very high-end property. The homes there that are along the coast that are by the train tracks, it's $1 billion properties to $1 million properties, right? And it's very affluent area. And, I'm sure that if there's some probably Del Mar agents that have listed homes and been like, by the way, there's this train that comes through every, couple of hours or whatever. So that can affect property values. So if they conveniently move the train tracks deeper east, right, away from the coast, which tends to always happen, they move stuff towards the east, inland, and inland starts to get a little less expensive. You have, usually marginalized communities sometimes. Not to say that the cities behind Del Mar are that. They're not. They're so nice. But I was just thinking, is this really because there's a safety concern, or is it because the noise and, people want that out of their way because one, remove the noise, increases property value. You get unobstructed views of no trains coming by.
That's realistic.
So I don't know. What do you think? What's your speculation? Because this is the first time I shared my gym news with you.
Gym news.
The gym news. I know you all know what that is.
Honestly, that would make a lot of sense because of the community in the area that they're at. Del Mar has the beach right there. You could walk.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, living that close. And yeah, you're absolutely right. The values of the homes there average in the millions. And it's because you get everything you get. and you're in California. You're in Southern California. So, I mean, I could see that, honestly, that they move it, not because of erosion, but realistically, you know, it's the community more leaning towards the fact that they don't want the noise anymore. But, I mean, who would want the noise anyways? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But do you think they'll really move it, or is it just talk as of right now?
No, I'm pretty sure they're going to move it. It's just a matter of when. When they're gonna move it. And
are you gonna ride Amtrak anymore if you
no, right.
If they move it?
Well, you still get, I think they're gonna move it like up to the point of like where Del Mar kind of like sort of ish starts, like, and then it'll move up into the back city. So what is that like? Maybe Escondido. Somewhere around there, like within those cities that are like in the back county. So they'll do like a little detour, like kind of rounding around Del Mar and La Jolla and all those little cities, all those little cute beach town cities, and they'll route it around all that, and then it'll come back like towards the 8 freeway, and then it'll move into like back to where it normally stations at, which is in like Little Italy.
If it goes all the way to Escondido.
Yeah, they're moving it pretty inland. I meant to look at, because I'm not that, I mean, I've been in San Diego for 3 years now, but I still get confused on like, I still have to GPS it everywhere. So like, I don't know what cities are behind Del Mar, but I'm thinking like whatever those cities are, like along the 15. So like Mira Mesa, Claremont, Rancho Bernardo, but I'm sure the tracks will probably still not run near Rancho Bernardo.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. But I just thought that was like my thought. Like, I get it because it did. Clearly, I want safety, you know, but like, why can't you just rebuild it? Why do you have to move the whole tracks? That's a lot. To me, it sounds more expensive than just relaying some tracks from forever that point that erosion is happening. So that's where I was like, this doesn't make sense. And then when they interviewed a local homeowner down there, and she was like, yeah, this is so unsafe, you know, because people can cross, you know, could be walking, because a lot of people walk to the beach and they have to cross the tracks, and like, what if something happens? Pedestrian gets hurt or whatever. It's fair, but I don't see why you need to move it like across, and you know, like, it just doesn't make sense. But whatever. I mean, maybe if I did,
you want your scenic.
Maybe if I
did,
I want my scenic and track rights. Like, that's kind of, you know, I'm like, oh, like that part's gonna go now. So,
dude, I didn't know you weren't from San Diego.
No, I don't.
3 years.
I lived here since 2020. Well, December of 2020, but let's just call it.
I thought you were a native this whole time.
No.
I've been here 6 months.
Oh yeah. You're super new. But I actually came here when I moved here during COVID. So technically, I feel like last summer was the first summer where I was like, okay, this is what normal living San Diego is. Like, we don't have to eat outside on the block, like on the sidewalks anymore. We can eat at full capacity. Like, things started to finally get a groove. But I felt like I was literally a bird cage. I was locked in a bird cage and could only like fly around and see just whatever's in my cage, but not really like see San Diego and see, like, I guess the fruits of why I moved here until 2 years later, until 2023.
Where were you originally from?
So I moved here from Temecula, lived in Temecula for about, Murrieta, Temecula for about 10 years. And then before that, I lived in the Inland Empire. So I grew up in Rialto, and then went to high school and kind of did my college living-ish in Rancho Cucamonga. So it's about 2 hours away from.
Oh, wow.
So my most like 20s, like teenagers to 20s was in like Rancho Cucamonga, which is kind of like a Temecula. It's kind of like a, you know, suburby. Like, if you wanted to live in the IE, you'd want to live in Rancho Cucamonga. Like, not anywhere, because it was like, you know, the hoity-toities or whatever.
What's the biggest difference
between like where I grew up to
here now? Yeah.
Oh, here in like San Diego to Rancho Cucamonga. Rancho
Your
Cucamonga
hood.
is, yeah, it's not hood at all. It's not. I mean, I grew up in the hood. Like, grew up in the hood, which is Rialto's only like about 15 minutes away from Rancho Cucamonga. So I grew up in the hood. And then once I got 18, I was like, well, let's get out of the hood. So I got out of the hood And then I kind of lived in that like Upland, Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga area. And then moved down to Temecula, Murrieta, because that was the only place that I can afford to buy a home at that time, because it wasn't booming like it is now.
I know.
So the difference is definitely it's suburban. It's real suburban. Big,
Really?
everybody has an SUV. They have like 3-4 kids. They live in a big home. They care about, definitely everybody's like the school districts are good for the most part. It's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot.
Hot here.
It's dry. It's dry hot. It's dry heat. And then here, it's
Back where you? Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, back there. No, here's not. No, here's fine. So, and it's just, it depends like where you're at. Like when I was in Rialto, then you're back in LA basically. Like that's the demographic of like those people. Like they moved from LA to there because it was cheaper for them.
Yeah.
So then just 15 minutes later, you get like a big cultural shift and a big change.
Damn.
So it's really interesting. And it was interesting for me to grow up in that type of demographic, I guess, because I learned how to code switch real quick. And you kind of have to if you're like in that little bubble.
I think the biggest difference from San Diego and because I'm from Fresno is the weather.
Yeah.
I want to ask, what's hot for San Diego people? What temperature is hot? Because even right now, like all my friends and family, hot to me is 100 at least, 110s. And right now, the other day it was like 118 in Fresno. And y'all are spoiled, bro. It's humid here, which I don't know. I love being humid, but it doesn't get that hot. Yeah, I think the hottest I got, it was one time I was here before I moved here. It was like 90. And it was hot. Like it was dry heat. And I'm like, damn it, this kind of fucking sucks. But
why did I move here?
But besides that, dude, it gets to 80 and that's it. It was gloomy this morning.
Yeah.
Because I go to the gym early and cloudy and nothing, bro. But out in Fresno, it's dry heat. Dude, it feels like the desert. And it gets really, really cold in the summers. It gets to like 30s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it get cold here?
No. So we're not in a climate that can get, it doesn't go to freezing temperatures.
It gets a little chilly.
Yeah. I think the lowest it'll go is like, high 40, like 47 degrees. But even then that's like a rare kind of thing where in, like kind of where I grew up too, it was like that. It could get like 37, Temecula gets like that too. It's like dry heat. So even just like an hour out from San Diego, it starts to get that like higher temp weather.
Man.
For me, I can't
spoiled.
do, like I was at Palm Springs this past weekend and I was like, I am not a desert rat. Like I just could not. I can't. Like I will. A rat. Like a desert rat. I will like die. Like, and I'm like, and I kind of get mad at myself because I'm like, I should just be able to be like whatever, and just like, why let the weather like fuck up my like mood, right?
You're used to the weather.
But I'm like, but it's like, I'm not also used to like the high temps weather.
Oh, I never got used to it.
I mean, or I guess maybe like when I was a kid, I used to feel that weather sometimes when it would get really hot, but it would get like 110. And I never liked that weather at all either. But I remember having to walk home like 30 minutes in that heat and like being all sweaty and all that stuff. And you're just like, oh, you just feel gross. But I think for me here, I feel now I'm like spoiled. So if I go to those high temp places, like 90 degrees, 95, I'm like, ugh, I just want to get back home. I just want that breeze.
I talk shit on San Diego people because of the weather, but I can't really say anything because I'm already getting used to it too.
Yeah, you
I'm like,
forget.
it's 80. I'm like,
little,
damn, it's kind of warm. I'm kind of sweaty.
What is that? I don't know if this is even like a term or whatever, but you get like weather bougie. It's like, no, like, nope. I ain't going over there. Or like, if I do go to a hot place, it needs to have a pool. We need AC.
Dude,
like all these things. I need to have my handheld fan.
A culture shock was that in some areas in San Diego, they don't have AC units. They just have the wall units.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? Like, how does that work? Am I going to die during the summer? No.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
You better have an AC in Fresno.
Oh, for sure. Well, my mother-in-law lives in Modesto, which is like, I don't know. How far is that from Fresno?
40 minutes?
Oh, okay.
Might be more.
I think it's like an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
It's like an hour.
I'm totally
Yeah,
off.
you're supposed to know Central
supposed to be used to the valley.
California. Yeah, you're supposed to know Central California. Where
My
they're-
bad. No.
And we were there like 2 weeks ago, and she has an AC, but you know they're older. And she's like, I can just dump a like AC unit in the living room window, right? And that's what cools down like
Those
the living
work
room.
actually. Those work really well.
But I'm remember bougie weather over here. I'm not used to that, so it wasn't really hitting in the room. And then I opened the window, and like you have to open the window to get some fresh air in, which isn't too bad. Like it's maybe like 70-ish at night or whatever. A little bit of a breeze, but then you just hear everything. You hear fucking dogs barking and
dude.
this and that. So then I can't sleep because I'm like hearing all these, nature outside. and then I'm not
We
getting
sound
in
so
the
spoiled,
breeze.
dude.
And then the
This is
fan.
first world problems,
Yeah,
bro.
this is like, I'm telling you. I'm just like, and then the moment we come back home and you get off the 5 and you come and you hit like Six Flags and then like, I think it's like Simi Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into like LA area, like off the 210 or the 5 and the 210, and you start seeing more green. And I'm just like, yeah, this is why. This is why I love Southern California. This is why I will pay money
never
to live
leaving.
here. And now I definitely enjoy the San Diego weather. Like I think I don't know that I want to move out of San Diego at this point. Like I don't know any other place besides outside of the country where I would want to set more roots in. I think I'm set to stay here because the weather. Because the weather.
I don't miss the weather back home. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I miss my family and all them, I talk to them and catch up, but the weather, keep that. I'm good.
Yeah.
I never got used to it in the first place, and I would hate it. And dude, I'm gonna sound dramatic, but like, I swear I get more mad when I'm in heat. I have less patience.
Oh yeah, me too.
I get like triggered by anything.
Right.
I just look pissed off. But I'm just hot. I'm just miserable. I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah. Yeah. I get like a toddler. Arlene the toddler comes out and I'm just like hungry, thirsty, like complaining and like finding everything wrong that could be wrong. Like, yeah, I can't handle the heat. So
Damn.
but that's why I moved here. That's why I've always loved San Diego. Like my vacations, I used to come out here, me and my husband, we would have our little like staycations out here in San Diego. So now I'm like, shit,
Dude,
yeah,
same.
I actually live here.
Same.
It's pretty fucking crazy.
I wish I would have moved
Ooh.
here sooner.
Since we're talking about San Diego, let's talk about, because we're both pretty new to San Diego.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been here for 3 years, but only technically been here for like a year and a half because of COVID.
Yeah.
And you just dropped in, like the stork just
Like
dropped your ass
6, 7
off.
months,
Like
bro.
boom. So there's, I guess, neighborhood, and y'all San Diegans can add to this list of names that Josiah and I have kind of like learning and stumbling upon each time. So, okay. So there's nicknames, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And there's fun nicknames for different neighborhoods of San Diego, or at least San Diego County or Valley. Or
I've
whatever
heard
you
a
wanna
few.
call it.
Some
Okay,
people
tell me a couple. Let's see if I have them on my list.
When I was first moving here, my wife and her military buddies were like, oh yeah, we're moving here to National City. Oh, you live in Nasty City? We're like, wait, what? Is that bad?
Yeah,
And they're like, yeah, that's Nasty City. I'm like, okay, whatever, I guess.
I don't know. What goes on in Nasty City?
I don't know.
Wow.
I'm new here, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far. So
That's right, because you do live in Nasty City.
yeah.
Okay.
Someone told me why it's called Nasty City. I forgot
There's probably just some shade that just goes down. I don't
forgot.
know.
Maybe because the blade's right there. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be interesting. Let's see. Okay, so I have North Park is called No Park because you can't find parking anywhere. That is very true.
That's true. I was there the
That's
other
true.
day.
Yeah. I do not like to drive to North Park. And if I do, I'm like, arrive like 15 minutes earlier than what I'm supposed to so that I can have enough time to find parking. And then I also, because I'm not a big city girl, I have not lived in a big city my whole life until now. And I don't know how to parallel park.
No.
I don't know how to parallel park.
Oh,
so even if there's like a good spot, I need to learn. I mean, I've gotten better. I'm pretty proud of myself now. I've gotten better. And everybody's like, you drive a Tesla, like it can just park itself. I was like, me and my husband didn't upgrade to that feature.
Oh, I was about to say.
So my Tessie doesn't do all that. She's a little special.
You line the back wheels up with the other car's back wheels, and then you just.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
And
I'm
then
getting better at it just by naturally trying.
Practice with cones.
But no, that's like embarrassing. Why don't you teach me, Josiah? We'll do a whole video. We'll do a whole reel, okay? Josiah teaching this old woman how to
teach Arlene and
42-year-old woman how to parallel park. Yeah, that'll be funny actually. Okay, and then the next one. Okay, so Mira Mesa, and Josiah didn't know about this, and he was like, "Why would they call it that?" So another nickname is Miramasian.
That's crazy.
And he was like,
That's a crazy name.
I don't get it. And I was like, well, it's because of Convoy. Because there's like all these, fabulous Asian eating and like very diverse culturally like foods that you can eat there. And there's like the Asian markets and everything. And it's a whole section. And I was like, yeah, you need to go down and you need to go and like have a foodie day. But yeah, so that's in Mira Mesa, but they call it Miramasian. Then this one's funny. I don't even know if you know about this because you're newer to San Diego. So Santee is one of the nicknames is Clan T.
That's crazy.
Because the theory is there's a lot of Ku Klux Klan that has lived in before. There was like I don't know. I can't fact check me. I don't know. But all I know.
Don't go after me. Go after Arlene.
And look, this has been rumored when I lived in Temecula. Okay, so this is like a rumor that I've heard for over a decade.
Nah, it's okay. Someone told me about a realtor told me that was formerly living here. Told me, oh, don't go there. Don't go to Clan T.
Yeah. Don't go to Clan T.
I was like, wait, what?
They were like, if you're brown, stay away from these parts of San Diego County.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Santee, Clan T, and Fallbrook.
Wow.
I was like, oh, okay.
We're saying names right now.
All right. I don't have a nickname for Fallbrook, but there is okay, so this is funny. Normal Heights, Shitty Heights.
That's fucked up.
That's fucked up. I don't agree with that either. I think actually Normal Heights, if you're gonna think about investing in real estate right now and you want like an up and coming neighborhood,
absolutely.
Like Shitty Heights is amazing to invest in.
Shitty Heights.
Because it's moving on up. It is moving on up, and I believe in Normal Heights. Shoot, I'll probably live there pretty soon.
I've been there, yeah. It's nice.
Okay, and then the next one is so Chula Vista is Chola Vista or Chulo Vista.
Cholo
Vista or Chula Vista.
Chula.
Like a chola.
Yeah. Oh, chola.
Like a chola vista.
I can't talk. Why?
Because back in the day, there used to be a lot of gangsters. Like that was like.
That's the thing. Damn.
Yeah, like the 80s. Going back in the 80s, 90s, it was pretty active. I don't know. Again, I don't know. These are all just rumors.
23, so I wasn't even.
Yeah, he wasn't even around yet, or he was a seedling.
I was a thought.
Yeah, he was a thought. Let's see. We have Oceanside for the O Block.
O Block,
and I'm assuming too because people like to say because it's one of the cities that are along the ocean that are in San Diego County. But usually there was like a lot of like supposedly gang stuff going on Oceanside. I don't believe that to be true now. I don't know. Again,
who knows?
We haven't been San Diegans for that long.
I'm not. I'm from here.
So y'all can chime in and let us know your thoughts. Nice thoughts.
People from Oceanside, let us know.
Yeah. People from Oceanside. Why do they call you O Block? Do you agree with Normal Heights being called Shitty Heights? Santee, I don't know. Are you still known as Clan T? Is that stuff still going on over there? Mira Mesa is Miramasia or Miramasian, actually. And yeah, maybe give us some of your fun recommendations.
Why is National City Nasty City? I want to know.
Yeah, why is that? Like, I agree with that.
I need to know. It ain't nasty to me.
Especially because, you live there. And North Park, well, we just all could agree that we can all agree on something. I know from personal experience. You cannot park in North Park. Yeah. That name should stay. That name should stay. El Cajon was like El Box, which that was
a box.
I guess it is like a bedroom, like city or neighborhood outside of San Diego. It's actually not even a neighborhood within San Diego, so I guess it's like a little. But I guess I don't know.
Shout out El Cajon.
Yeah. You got, out of everybody, you didn't get the worst name on the list. Yep. So that wraps up for our what is that? Yeah. We're done.
We need to call a name for this already, dude.